So we just set up with our bearing puller on the half shaft with a £16 set from eBay, so let's see if we can manage to drive this off. Right, surprisingly enough it seems to be pulling it off. It's incredibly tight and I didn't think the tool was going to stand up to it, but credit where credit's due, it's doing the job. So hopefully it'll get easier when it goes over the splines, but at the moment it seems to be just as difficult, but we'll see. So once you get properly onto the splines, it literally just comes away, so you've just got that first bit to get off and you're done. But it's very difficult to get it started. I had to give it a few taps. It was clamped up and I gave it a few taps as well, and I noticed that the clamp was getting slightly easier to turn, so it was drawing it away, and eventually we came away. But as for MGB rear wheel bearings never going, or very rarely going, I want to let you listen to this so that you can hear. That's knackered. So one thing I showed on an earlier video is how noisy the old bearing was, and I wanted to now spin this one so you could listen to the difference. And actually it's actually silent. I cannot hear a thing from it. So there's the difference. So if you take your bearing off and it sounds like the previous one, or any noise comes from it, you can bet your life it's gone. So now we need to put the bearing on, and we've got the spacer in place. We've also greased slightly round this shaft. So put it on square, and now we've got this bar which actually fits the bearing pretty well. We're going to put a block of wood at the very bottom of this shaft. I might cut some cardboard discs to go between the metal here and the actual bearing itself, and then we're just going to gently tap it on. I also might make a cardboard cover to go around these splines, because there is a bit of movement here, and what we don't want is it to damage the splines at all. So we'll just put that on. We haven't got a press to put it together really, so we're going to knock it on with a mallet, and let's see how we get on. Obviously I can't do it in front of the camera because it's too many things to hold, but we'll have a go and then come back and give you an idea as how difficult it actually is. So this is what I meant about protecting the splines and the cardboard disc underneath to protect the metal hitting metal. And hopefully we'll probably have to replace this one on the bottom quite a few times, depending on how it stands up to being hit. So now that's on. A couple of things I wanted to show you, that the one piece of cardboard I used to put it on with has not been damaged, so that means I put it on extremely slowly. That's actually all in one piece still, no damage to the bearing whatsoever. Still silent, no damage to the splines, right onto the base, and you can hear when it goes on, because normally when you hit it you get a bit of a dud sound, but actually when it gets to the bottom the actual metal seems to bounce a little bit. So this is the wood I used, and there's just a very small indentation there, a bit of plywood, thin plywood, on a slab. And again, this completely undamaged, so that means that the metal hasn't hit the splines. And there's just a very slight, on the side that I hit, you can very slight curvature of the metal spreading out a little bit. But on this side, where it actually hit the bearing on the cardboard, no damage whatsoever. So if you do it slow enough, it takes probably 400 hits, gentle hits, to get it on. And we've only used the reasonable size hammer, so it was put on very slowly, just working way round and round and round until it's on.